It's Friday night. It's 8 o'clock. It's time for Transformers, the show.
I live my life walking down the street, meet the faces of the people I see. All the time I see a reflection. All the time I see a reflection. It's okay to feel alone. It's okay to be alone. All the time I see a reflection. All the time I see a reflection. 'Cause when I'm with you, it seems so easy. Seems so easy. My best days are with you. They are so easy. They are so easy.
Hello. Tonight on the show, we have 4 types of Megatron.
What's in the side profile?
Fourplay. So all the cool kids are doing it. We've got Megatron in Fourplay. We've got a discussion, our favourite villain, all the news, Blaster, and some more other Kingdom reveals. We've got some third-party news, plus Rohan's Corner, Fanstoys Innuendo, and a whole lot more. So thanks. Thank you for
I
joining
think I
us
hurt my
tonight.
knee there in the sudden movement.
Don't go too fast.
Jesus Christ, no, come on.
The dangers of live production.
So old we're getting. Right, time for the news.
I talk some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
Newsy.
News. Right, we've got quite a bit of news, mostly third party, but we have got some official news. So, trainers seems to be the order of the day at the moment. So, these were the Transformers X Adidas, Optimus Prime, and Megatron running shoes that have been revealed, and some people have got quite excited about. So, you've got the Optimus Prime style and also Megatron style one. Both feature LED lighting and insoles with a split Optimus Prime Megatron face. So, let's have a look at a few pics.
And they're conveniently running trainers, you know, which would help if you're escaping from communist China.
Big hello to all our Giants fans.
Your agenda.
Or if you want to play if you want to play tennis, or
Yes,
Possibly. Or if you want to go running at night because they light
or
up.
do both, which some people are trying.
they'll
to
light up. Oh my God, we just have to get them then, don't we?
Like children's shoes.
I hope you don't light up like the Catch Fire or something, you know.
The thing is, if I got these, I wouldn't want to wear them. Yeah, that's the bottom of the soles.
or is it
I wouldn't want to
the
wear
insole?
them.
What would
Oh,
you
no,
do?
it's
Put
the
them on
insole,
your
isn't it?
hands
Sorry, yeah.
like fancy mitts.
Well, yeah, I just keep them like on a shelf or something. But that's the thing; they should be worn. You should run around with them and have everyone stop and admire your wonderful Transformers
think-
trainers.
So they've missed the trick here. They should release Transformers light up condoms, because then you can go. It's prime time. Boom. Or
How long was that? About 3 minutes. Well, somebody made some comment. Let's carry on. Crash on.
or
Oh God! No. Can we just?
Megatron
Josh,
line,
you
then.
move on.
Wouldn't you get disappointed, Alexis, if it doesn't get bigger?
I'm just quite happy. I only think it lasts 3 minutes.
Anyway, Masterpiece 54 Reboost. Sorry, is it Reboost or Reboot?
Yes, it's Reboost. It's
Reboost. That was right the first
Reboost
time. There you go.
From Honda City style hatchback car to 8-inch robot figure and back. I'm glad they said the back bit, because it was a bit wide once you transformed it. You're fucked. It's like
They always say that though. Transforms to whatever and back, as if it wasn't gonna. Although I've had 1 or 2 Transformers that were like that.
Like most Honda City backs which you own then and are around now, they are one-way trips.
And that's going for sale about £68 to £75. I've seen in certain websites. It seems to be in that range.
Very Optimus Prime-y head sculpt.
Yeah, and the lovely all mode. Oh, detail. Deets.
Who doesn't want a Honda? I don't
And that
really.
chromed weapons, I
Humans.
believe. There he is, scaled with Sunstreaker.
Pretty boy.
For those who collect their masterpieces.
Does it look to me like Sunshakers thrusting himself slightly there?
He's a little bit. He's like, yo, I'm here.
People asking about what is
Posable?
welcome. That was something that I thought of, where when you say like welcome to the show, it sounds like whale, the mammal, and come. So you can say like welcome to the show.
This is the
We're actually
highbrow
saying-
entertainment that people come here for.
Something
Thank you for
rude.
that, Paul.
That's okay.
Is that what you've been writing down?
With the
this time?
news. I've got more
There
jokes
is
for
with
later in the
Prime.
show.
I can't wait.
sorry.
I literally
You
can't
think we
wait.
should all get the running trainers for TFN next year so we could all run to the bar better and be in fashion and show our love?
There's no point running to the bar. You're not going to get served any quicker. There'll still only be 2 people on at peak time.
If they're
I'll-
£80
after
each,
that-
we could trade them for half a pint.
Don't worry. Alexis will just be sending me into the bar to get £80 bottles of wine.
Well, if it works, it works, Jamie.
Called champagne.
Hate the play. Hate the game,
Come
not the
on,
player. Anyway,
news.
right. Yeah, there we are. So there's a reboost, and then everybody came here for, obviously.
Somehow when you
which
spell
was
out welcome, it
the
just
Blaster.
seems even worse.
I feel like you've started something now, Paul.
Could you be in the water and a whale comes and you wouldn't notice? You think it's a bit fluffy in here. I don't know. Would you?
I feel like you're overthinking it
Well,
in a slightly disturbing way.
water tastes.
Gordon
anyway.
Bennett.
I'm not asking you.
Let's not-
I'm
it's
not
nice.
asking you to drink the sea
Jesus,
water.
what are we?
Would you-
5 minutes?
Oh, what's this? Plankton?
Alexis's lack of
shouldn't have
sleep.
used my
You-
good jokes at the start.
This is all you. This is all on you, Paul. Anyway, Kingdom Blaster, and I didn't notice before in the pictures, but he's got obviously the finger molded so that he can, I'm assuming, press a button to open up the cassette deck. But man, looking cool. And he's got the obviously eject with the translucent plastic, which a lot of
Will
people
break.
are worried about.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there was questions asked about whether we'll get any more of the tapes, but you'd imagine they'll come up in some kind of 2-pack or 3-pack thing that they'll sell for an extortionate price, and probably not over here, but we'll get them eventually.
It does
We'll find a
look
way.
magnificent, though, doesn't it? It's like, yes, this is a
Yeah.
good blaster.
Although I will still say that the one you've got that was done by the Cutler Desk Nathan was, I think
Oh yeah, it's
looks-
awesome.
you wouldn't know that wasn't one of these. I mean, everybody thought it was, didn't they? But yeah, this is
Yes, I suppose
very good. And then Pipez. And Pipez is looking exactly like he has done every other time we've seen him, but I like it. I've seen a few people saying they're not that bothered about this, and somebody I saw who said that they thought it was like the most disappointing use of the mold, but I still really like it. I don't know. It might just be the pipes or the
these are
Pipez.
people who watch Jeremy Kyle. We shouldn't listen to them, Mandy.
You're obsessed with Jeremy Kyle. You bring him up every week. Were you watching it this month? Oh no, it's not on anymore, is it?
No.
Forgot about that.
YouTube.
Oh,
it never
anyway,
truly
that
dies.
You got a little sad then, didn't you?
Oh, only for the jobless. And there you go. There is his vehicle mode with his Pipez on the back. Yeah, I like the look of it. Anyway, I think I'm going to end up buying all of this like Hoffer type pipes mold. I just really like it, even with
we've
its
got-
visible fists on
We've
syndrome.
got someone
Oh.
looking forward to pipes. He's a man of great impeccable taste.
And then, of course, you can slammer. And there he is. This one I'm less excited. I just think it looks dull.
Oh, Slammer looks awesome. The bee tanky guy.
How
deserves
he's
some
all
love.
chest and wide and cuboid-ish. It's just
Is he a
I don't-
part former?
Yeah,
Yes.
but I mean, that doesn't necessarily make it a bad thing because the previous
No, it just
Micromaster
looks
ones we had
identical
were-
to the part formers.
But
yeah, well,
when you
it's
think
yeah.
about it, the original Metroplex, when you had 6-gun, was the original platformer, wasn't he? All the guns came together to make him.
Dave
so-
made a really good point on Twitter. Dave Wallace made a really good point that we actually have more toys, official toys of a slammer than we do of G1 Sure Shot, and that can't be right. Give those damn Target Master Autobots some love. And the
Oh,
throttle
yeah,
bots.
Sure Shot.
Got to throw that one in there.
That's what I meant.
No question for you. How many?
6-gun is
guns-
called, isn't he? 6-gun is called.
How many
Yeah,
guns does
6-gun,
6-gun
yeah.
actually have?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing 6, but I've never actually bothered counting.
Yeah.
The name seems like a clue.
Four.
Did the
It's
original
beautiful,
have
yeah.
4? The
Four.
2 legs were guns.
No, you had the 2 guns his legs, 2 guns his arms, and then you had the
Yeah.
gun. You had
Yeah.
the 2
So
gun
five.
points his back.
Ooh,
Five.
No,
No,
it was
6.
a separate
The gun
cannon.
on the back had 2 guns,
That's-
technically.
Yes, it is.
I think you'll find it's
one
6
gun-
guns, Alexis.
One
I've
gun
seen.
with 2
I
pistols.
think
One
you're
gun with
fine,
2.
you're wrong. You're wrong.
Anyway, we've moved on now to something far more important. That's right.
Ooh,
From Symbiote
nice.
Studios, it's a 20-inch Unicron cushion. And I think we all know what we're going to be buying in the near future.
Been a while since I had 20 inches on there. Yeah, fishing.
Probably not as long as you'd think. So that poster was from Kapow Toys, but obviously it's from Symbiote Studios. God knows where it'll be available, but if you search around, you'll be able to find it. Looking good though. These ones are a different pair. This is what I was saying about going trainer mad. So TFW 2005 was reporting on the fact that there's now the Transformers X Aikido Transformers the Movie 1986 high top trainers, designed by artist Flory with art direction by Matt Ferguson. Matt Ferguson, friend of the show, kind of, in the sense that we like his stuff. He occasionally likes some of ours, so it's.
I think he once liked a post, so now that
he's our best friend. He loves us. Anyway, as you can see, it's inspired by the title scene "Patters" from the Transformers 1986 movie. It's got an inner Decepticon insignia, outer Autobot insignia, and it's going to retail at about 50 quid, which doesn't seem that bad. It's up for pre-order on Zavi, so good luck with that. But hopefully it'll actually show up. I'm joking, Zavi. I love you. Send me free stuff too. And there you go. I like them. To be fair,
they're cool.
I'd wear a pair of them at TFN.
Yeah.
only at TFN.
I like the,
No,
I
I'd
like
wear them at school as well.
like
Not
the
at school.
ones,
That's
actually.
when I'm working. not popping into somebody's school. But I do like them. I do think they look cool.
so when you shave, you look like a 12-year-old, don't you, Andy?
You know what? I might do. It's been that long since I've not had a beard. Even Claire said she doesn't want me to shave it off because she thinks it'll just look weird now.
Wouldn't recognise you.
Yeah, exactly. Aikido. I've not heard of Aikido, but I'm sure those of you who are into your trainers know all about them.
That like the start of the movie, isn't it? That was quite cool.
It's the colours are good. I mean, again, they're probably a pair of those things that you wear about 4 times and they fall apart.
Well,
but
no,
I'm joking. I'm sure the build quality is wonderful.
If you had them without the insignia, I think you'd wear them anyway. So I think they're pretty cool, actually. How much are they?
£50 apparently.
From where?
From looking at the information I showed earlier and then finding them for yourself. I'm not Google, mate. Have a look. You'll find them. When you're up in the middle of the night with your lovely newborn, you've got plenty of time to be searching for these trainers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because I have hands
you know
available.
what? Because I know there'll be people actually asking the same question. Let's quickly nip back. There you go. From Zavi, $49.99.
There you go.
Only 400 pairs already. Trainers with limited edition of only 400 pairs. So that's going to make them a little bit hard to get to.
Shut up.
I can almost hear Jamie getting his tablet out now. To Zavi.
I'm not going to buy
What they're
those.
called?
My God.
Hang on.
Famous
Can you
last
send me a
words.
link? Andy, Mr. Google, send me a link.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Alexis, it's in Messenger, you dick. We share the same thing.
Hang on. Can you Bluetooth it to me? Can you just Bluetooth that to me?
Yeah, I'll get right on it. All right.
I swear he thinks that you're like the secretary.
I've just Googled. I've just done.
How close are you?
I've just done.
Can you smoke
right here,
signal
right
it to
there.
me?
I'm like that far.
Oh,
Like,
anyway.
I've just done the Aikido trainers, and they actually do Ghostbusters, Harry
Boss
Potter,
Code.
Do they?
Squid
Third party?
Game. Oh, there's the Transformer ones. Assassin's Creed, sold out. Jurassic Park, Borderlands, Matrix. They're pretty funky, actually.
Fascinating.
Help us, please.
Can I do more?
It was a classic office scene where your new boss is an idiot, a complete blank asterisk blank.
Yeah.
And she's, as always, she has a gun in her bag, and he's being incredibly rude to her. And finally, the character said, "Are you always like this?" And he said, "Sorry," and she pulled the gun out and blew him away. And it was the fantasy that so many people have had when they have an appointment with their middle manager.
We're going to watch those of Richard Madley clips tonight. Sorry if I didn't mention that at the start of the show. There's going to be a lot of Richard Madley tonight.
He's not
One
really
more
sorry.
question on those Aikido
Oh, God,
trainers.
that-
Do they come out? I've got slightly wide feet, so would I be a
It's
9
like there's
or
no
a 10?
Oh my
recognition.
God, Alexis! I don't
They're
make them.
half sizes.
I don't work at Shoe Zone, mate. You find out when you buy them. It's not my fault you got wide feet.
Can someone Google that? Bluetooth it to me?
All right, what's next on the news?
Oh,
Please.
nothing. I've lost the will to live. Right. So third party. Which are you sharing? Are you sharing?
Yeah,
I'm sharing. Are you sharing it?
I'm showing it, mate.
You share it like you've never shared it before, and it's shared. Right. Fans Hobby First full color samples of MB17 Meg Tyranno, which does look really nice.
Looks lovely.
Yeah, looking good. I do see. I quite like the Armada Megatron look, but you know. How much does that cost again, Alexis? You'll know, the master of all third-party news.
120. I think it's 120.
Love it when you make up a price.
130.
It'll be around there,
120.
won't it? Most would be like 150 tops.
I think it's 130.
Right, there you go. 130.
Because like Power Base is like 160 to 180. You can buy from Fanstoys Direct as well. So
do you think this will be less then?
yeah, 130. I reckon.
Because is this built? Oh no, it won't. It's not built to scale with,
Arrowfire
with
saying
Power
it is
Base, is it?
120.
There you go, Arrowfire, dropping the third-party knowledge. We've taken note of that.
Arrowfire coming to the rescue.
Possible
well,
replacement.
Not
Anyway,
last night he kept on dying.
Oh,
for our friends,
Fortnite bans.
Should we just call him? We call him New Andy now.
Shut up.
He's a bit more. He's a bit more manly. We can call him.
So many times.
he's
I've
better
been the
with
last
the
man
gun.
standing, and you
Ian,
lot are moaning.
Ian, you are now.
You're all
Andy
dead.
said it's
Do something,
120
Andy. Do
pounds.
something. Anyway, move on. Iron Factory lost last profit. So yeah, is this new? I thought we'd seen this before. Is this new?
No,
I'm
it's
asking
just
you,
new
Alexis.
It's
new
basically
shots.
it's basically being released. This is it. It's coming out.
Oh
very
right, so
soon.
we have seen it before.
Yeah,
It's not like completely.
It's the same as their Scourge mold, just Alphatron stylized.
It comes with a nice yellow flag. Okay, and moving on.
It is a really
There's his
cool.
beautiful vehicle mode, which definitely does not look like a lump.
Yeah,
With a head.
shoe.
I'm pretty sure
That one
we
of the
have
new
seen
shit.
this before.
Hello, Lucas.
Child invasion. Right, what are you doing here? You're watching the film. Go watch the film. Look, we did say hello to the podcast people.
Don't read what Techno Boy said.
Yeah, don't read the comments. Move on. Off you go. It's been nice to see you. Out the door.
Yeah.
Shut the door behind you. Okay. Love you. Bye. Shut the door.
You might want to invest in some locks, Andy.
I'm just going to push a sofa up against it. Shut
To
the
people
door.
To the people who were saying in the comments that it looks like a dildo. I don't want to be a dick.
But it's because this is.
I tell you what, if that's what yours
we have
looks
used
like,
this
then
image
you need to
before.
serious help.
Because we were calling this a dildo like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, we did, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, let's move on.
Are we? Did we?
Alexis, third-party kit, is it?
Yeah.
Upgrade kit or something for Kingdom Sideswipe.
Yeah, go better kit. Go better third party add-on kit. Jamie doesn't believe this. I think it looks much better, to be honest. It's trying to be. It's good. It looks as good, almost as good as the MP. So lots of extra little bits to fill the gaps there. Add on to the spoiler. Change his missile cannon launcher thingy. It's also got. Is it
Excuse me.
head sculpt? I think they do something to the head as well. Pretty sure they did, but I think that looks pretty good. That looks like a little mini masterpiece.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at what you're saying, Alexis. I've just seen Arrowfire desperately pleading, for the love of God, don't read the comments. He's gone now. It's fine. Unless he uses his brother's phone to watch the video. Anyway, what? Remind me of what this is, Alexis.
We saw that
Oh, yeah,
last
so
week as well.
Oh,
This
it's
is
the...
This is everything you get. So this is like a Moon Racer version. So if you remember that we had an RC, this is like a Moon
Of what
Racer.
again, though? What's the name of the figure and company?
Oh, the one you said the other week, which you didn't know about.
Big Firebird. You talked about it last week. Big
That's it.
Firebird.
That's it. That's it. Big Firebird.
It's the same news. This is so
Yeah,
unprofessional.
he wasn't there, though,
This
was
is-
he?
He
wasn't there,
This is what you get.
He
So you actually get.
Did you not watch
So
the
the-
show, Alexis? I just cannot
Yeah.
believe this.
Can't get
did
the
watch
stuff.
it. Pay me.
Where's the love, Alexis? Where's the love? Yeah, you've got plenty of time to sit and watch things. I'm joking. Anyway, go on. Why has he got an
How's it
umbrella?
That's a lance.
Oh, of course it is.
You've never been
Anyway.
jousting before, mate.
I love the way you say that. Like,
He's not
You've never been
from.
jousting. What's wrong with you? Anyway, go on. What's this?
KFC. This is KFC's version of Power Master Prime. I personally think it's better than Power Baser. I'm actually going to be selling Power Baser.
That's not
Shut
Power Baser.
up.
No.
Yeah.
Did we not discuss this last week as well?
Oh,
Before
These
it
are
was
new.
rubbish?
So this is now.
Did we look at this
about,
version?
I believe
Yes.
the
I
cab.
thought we said
the
it was
cab.
rubbish.
The cab is about to drop, and this is what a proper base mode looks like as well. There's a matrix. Sorry, you got the photos the wrong way around. This is what
Did you? I haven't got the photos right. No, right. You brought this on yourself now. As we've discussed on this show before, Alexis, don't send 60, 70 photos all together at once because Messenger reorders them all, and then I have to sit for half an hour and get them in the right smegging order.
Andy,
But I don't let it bother me. I don't let it bother me, Jamie.
The best part was he said, "Give me
He never named any of them.
Give me a 10-minute warning before you go to download the photos." Meaning he wanted to wait 10 minutes over the day just before you downloaded the photos to do this.
Oh dear God. Anyway, just look at the damn photos and tell us what they are.
In my defense, it was 44 photos.
Honestly, if I was Crichton, I'd be going smeeg heed. Anyway, go on. It looks all right. Like, I'm not saying it looks bad, but I don't think it looks as good as Power Baser.
I don't know.
I suppose it's
How
a
long
different
that cab
scale,
is.
though,
That
isn't it?
cab is ridiculously long, isn't it?
There's scale with a can of. I think that says Coke. My Mandarin's a bit off. I haven't read it in a while.
I think it's it should that will be
IQ looks pretty decent there. They've got a fair bit of diesel on them. I can't remember what the other one looked like.
So how much will it cost for this abomination?
It's actually quite a lot.
This is a Power Master Prime. This is an abomination.
It's actually about 250 quid.
Fuck's sake.
How much?
You have to buy them. You have to
I'm
buy
sorry.
the robot.
How much was that?
But
You have to buy the robot. Well, obviously.
that one there, the Prime. You want to buy this Prime on its own, you can for like 100 quid, and then you've got to buy the trailer on its own. So you buy them individually. And
And Megan's already vetoed the royal gynecologist, hasn't she? She's got her own
team around her.
lady gynecologist.
So
Fantastic. And home, I assume, means it's the cottage, isn't it?
Yeah.
We say cottage.
Frogmore Cottage.
I'm still a bit upset at what she told us at the top of the show, that she's too short to look at the view from the top of the cathedral.
All of that.
St.
Wait, you have to go
Albans.
back up there and maybe take some steps with her.
Take a box.
sorry.
Anyway, yeah, there's more pics of it. It
Doesn't get any better.
Than this, that's right. It's getting better than this. Jamie's right. Look at that.
I loved it when you
It's
said,
just like the
said,
G1.
there's
one.
a base mode. That is exactly the
base.
same as the G1. He's splits. He's doing the splits. The
That is the
main
base
body thing is doing the
No,
cab.
no,
not
no,
cab, sorry. The
amazing.
trailer's
Wheels,
doing the
like a
splits.
real
You can see
city.
wheels. You can see wheels.
You could live in that house.
It looks like Hounslow, mate.
Yeah, it looks like Cardiff to me. That it's wonderful.
Oh, you don't get that kind of stuff with the trains in Lithuania. There's a random reference to throw in there just for Brad. I don't know. I think it looks quite good, but I don't know if it's as good as Power Base. I guess we'll find out. We will find out. Surely are you picking this up, Alexis? You've waxed lyrical about it.
Yeah, I am. I think it.
I thought you might.
I think.
Will you be doing a comparison review for us?
Yeah, why not?
No,
Cool. We look forward to that. We've got it on film. Just
Will
like
you
when,
transform
just like
that,
when you
Alexis?
said you transform Unicron.
We'll edit that out afterwards.
No, we won't. Anyway, tracks. Why is there a tracks there? Remind me again.
It's
It's not tracks.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
This is X-Trans what's
Ratchet.
trying to. This is X-Trans what's no first aid. This is their first aid.
Oh, is this for the combiner?
So they actually, if you can see, obviously it looks very similar to Prime with two
Optimus Prime.
guns.
Power-based Optimus Prime. You're right.
There you go. That's the
Right,
one I
same
thought we
size.
were moving
So
on
this
to.
is- you can see same size as their Ironhide. There's their Streetwise, which I sent back because it's a sack of shit. But this one, you know,
Is that
the other
not a
one's
bit weird to have first aid so much bigger than Street?
Yeah,
Fighter?
why is he so much bigger?
I don't know, scales the other holder because again he's
Oh God, not that old shit.
I don't fucking know.
Right, we need a drinking game. Arrowfire, where's that drinking game you came up with when certain phrases came up? Be hammered by now. Right. It looks. I think that looks good. Right. I look at the scale with Streetwise and it really throws it off for me.
Streetwise is a leg box. So if you look at their Menasor, it had an add-on kit for the arms. All the Stunticons were the same size and combo. What they had for the arms was a slightly chunkier arms. So I'm anticipating potentially because Streetwise is obviously you saw a leg bot there as a car. Group in a motorbike will be naturally quite small anyway. And Blade's been a helicopter, potentially will be the same size as First Aid, a bit taller. But if you look at the cartoon as well, First Aid was quite a big bot. If you remember him in Ultimate Weapon, he was fairly large bot, wasn't he?
Sometimes you had Soundwave.
Yeah, but I mean, G1 cartoon scale was all over the place anyway, so you can't really take that as a grand scheme of measurement. I thought they were going for the fact that he's a van and a van's bigger than a car, but if you're going with that, then a helicopter's bigger than a van, so you're going to have like weirdly scaled.
No, we'll go with that. That's what I mean.
Like you said, a motorbike's smaller than both.
I think Andy.
I know.
I did
that as well. I did that as well.
We've just came to the problem with third party these days.
It's been live.
They're not wide of the scale anymore.
A year now?
It was just, what did he just say?
Edit that out as well. It's like you've forgotten that it's live.
As if nobody will have seen it.
Everybody was
watching. Shh, you ain't seen nothing. Right.
I'll just give you a little note afterwards.
Do you want to just recut it? You agree?
And sorry. Go back to
Prime again.
Sorry, the important thing about that last shot is you actually get the repair bay. The repair bay that tracks his line on, you get that as part of it. I don't know what it makes. It's like some sort of parts forming bit, but you actually get that as well.
Or it could be a torture bed.
Jamie straight back on his BDSM fantasies. Anyway, let's go on to Kang Toys because otherwise we'll be here all night.
So the one on the left is the right foot. The one on the right is crotch piece, monkey pants, and they turn into.
I wish that was his name.
So it's interesting. So the feet obviously make. So there's actually 8 bots. And you'll see a picture.
You've mentioned this before.
And so the 2 feet turn to almost like Carnivac style wolves, but they're a bit smaller than the other bots. I really want Kang Toys to make. There you go. So there's Razor Claw and that Carnivac. I really, really want Kang Toys to make Pretenders. I think that could make a perfect Carnivac because it folds into a foot, which actually crunches up in something which could go inside another bot, and it's a wolf. So
why does Razor Claw seem to have a horn, or at least a knife, or something sticking out of his head? That looks weird. They're all so sharp. I bet that. Do you cut yourself just transforming these damn things? Arafile, though.
The Cyberverse, the Cyber Star, that third party Starscream I bought the other week. Whatever that one's called, Core Star. Someone in the chat, Arafire. That one, that's very sharp. That one's very sharp. Spiky bits. This is
looks dangerous.
So, his actual, if you want to know, his name is Forilla.
Yeah,
Forilla the Rilla. So, that's quite good. And there is the.
I do like though. I mean, it's weird because I just look at them and think Zoids.
Yeah.
It's very Zoid-like. I mean, I'm not knocking it because they look cool, but yeah. And I do like. Oh,
that's quite good.
My boy Headstrong. I do like Headstrong and Tantrum. They were 2 of my favorites. To be honest, I like all the Precons, but
they look pretty cool. Those ones look pretty accurate though. And
I just love that iconic cover when you've got the Predacons hunting Optimus Prime.
Yeah,
he's surrounding them.
Yeah, that was a great story as well. Was it Prey? Was it called Prey?
Yes.
I think it was.
Yeah, I think so.
I thought it was Megatron they were hunting.
What's this little thing down here, Alexis?
What's this? Hands. Jazz hands.
I can't tell if you're being serious.
That's kind of like
it's a hand,
boss or something.
But it looks like a little spider crab type thing.
Yeah, it looks like that thing from MMC Boss, is it? Where he's got this gun thing on his arm.
Yeah. It's a crab that turns into the hands.
Just showing off my mastermind creation knowledge there.
Boom.
Boom. Prince Harry style. That's one hell of a sword.
Sword.
That's what she said.
There you go. Sorry, one hell of a sword.
That's it.
Coming at you like a sword.
Anyway,
there's loads of pictures of this.
Would you? You wouldn't swap out that sword anytime swoon. So yeah, all together.
I like how they're always punching the ground. It's like, I hate the ground.
I'm angry at the ground.
Me smash.
Men. Cosmos.
Oh, did you
made a plasticine apparently?
Did you get the name of this one?
No.
Fuck it. All right, this is.
I thought you said you were gonna. I said I'd download the photos. I didn't say I'd look up all the information.
You told me in the chat. You said, "Oh, I got this. I got this." You said, "I got you."
Yeah, I've downloaded all the photos because you said you were going to deal with it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
and
I
you
did.
said,
I did.
"Don't worry, don't panic, Andy. I will get the name."
Well, don't we normally get the? It's all up here. It's all up here. The knowledge is all
Oh,
up
no.
here. You don't need to worry,
No.
lads.
It's hidden.
There-
I'm
no.
digging for it right now.
No, I'm not. The reason this one isn't up there is because it's chug scale. It's not. It's
Is it?
MP scale. It's not legend scale. It's chug. This is the chug.
But it's
Cosmos.
third party,
someone's
isn't it?
someone's
It's
made
a
a third
third
party.
It
Yes.
looks amazing.
I have to say, it looks really good. Although it needs a
Someone's-
bit more
someone's-
paint.
someone's
But I'm
made a
guessing
third-
it's.
third-
Oh, I was
prototype.
being sarcastic. It looks really shit to me.
Do you think? I think it
I
looks
think
all
it
right.
looks
I think it
good,
looks quite
Kelly.
G1.
I think it looks awful.
I don't like the green. No, the green's too bright.
So something
it
you
could-
don't
I mean-
like.
I
It
mean,
looks
I
better
just
than that,
sort of-
though. I mean, that.
It looks like a prototype.
Compared
Looks
to
like a
that.
prototype. I like the toilet load.
Don't bend to peer pressure, Andy. You like it. You should be pleased.
No, I am
Yeah.
saying. I'm saying it looks better than that.
Yeah,
I'm saying
order that.
I'm saying the chug one looks gash by comparison.
Order it along with
So there,
your
I've said it now.
Power Master Optimus Prime as well. That looked great as well.
What's
That
that?
did look good.
What's
Why is
that
his
one?
head bigger there? Yeah.
What's
Is
going
this
on
just
there?
not a custom that someone's printed?
Is that?
Is
No.
it? Does Alexis know? Alexis will find out for us. And here's some photos of a really bored-looking woman.
That looks like May Lynn when I take her to Smith's Toys. Oh, May Lynn.
Look how impressed she looks.
This is the
Oh, great.
This is
More
the-
robots.
stylized version of Superion, just coming out soon.
What do you mean by
Right.
stylized?
It's not G1 accurate. If you scroll out the photograph, look at the jet at the front in the grey. That's the
Yeah.
color of all of them. They're going to be grey.
So they're going to be more
I've-
realistic colours, basically.
Yeah, I think potentially they're going to release. If they release them in that,
She doesn't look
everything,
any happier, does she?
She's just
No, that's
If only
Ken Toys.
She's like a fart in a chance.
She's looked like she's now 3 years at university for this. To watch a man learn how to use a ruler.
That's the legend scale Ken Toys. That is.
Oh, dear.
If he says stylized to me
That's
one
a-
more fucking time, I'll get him.
Oh, and then we're back to First Aid again, aren't we? There we go.
MX31. There you go.
And there he is as an arm.
Oh, I can't remember where I found that bloody.
Although I thought you said he was a leg.
No one.
Yeah, it
Is
didn't
he
make sense.
interchangeable?
It didn't make sense to be the shorter leg, did it? And big, huge, long arms. So
Well, this is it. Well, this is
I
it. They've got
didn't want to interject. I'm not like that.
longer arms and shorter legs. That's the way he's gonna look. And then we've got the more pictures of. I wasn't sure if you showed this last time. The Zeusaurus. There he is. looking bigger than
I can't
last
remember
time.
if we've shown. I think
Well-
we've shown a picture of it before, but I don't know if it's these ones. But anyway,
Yeah,
there you
this-
go.
this is,
Robot chicken.
This is the original. Well, this is the sort of new, sort of official prototype images now, isn't it? It's not rendered stuff. It's stuff that's actually been made MP scale. It's the X Transports MX20 Zesaurus.
That's
Oh,
That's
that's why we keep Jamie around. He brings the knowledge.
Although to be fair, I did ask Alexis 3 times, including in Welsh, what it was.
Yeah, but you're the one who actually brought it to the table. So,
I
you
know
know.
what it is.
Anyway, that's it. That's basically all the news, and it's
Cool.
it's 11:45, so we should probably stop there.
Half an hour of news, bloody hell! Right, so in a second we'll be doing pickups. Once I have found the pickup bits,
I love the way how you filled.
Updated on all of this as we head through the program.
Storm Brian.
Storm Brian.
Storm Brian, what a
Yeah,
name.
what's in a
Storm
name?
Brian.
Storm Horace, isn't it? You know, Storm Cuthbert. You want Storm Macbeth.
Yeah, something
Storm Lear.
menacing.
So tonight we're going to find out whether Richard Madley is actually Alan Partridge. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off talking there, Andy. When I
No,
press the video
it's fine.
play,
You do it to me all the time.
it starts. I've like it's like a 4-second delay, so I press it, and then someone starts talking. I think, oh no.
Every time I hit with comedy gold, you cut me off. But it's fine. I'm used to it now. So move on.
Cool. Right, let's do some pickups. So I got distracted there by
I'm still not fun.
live.
We now return to the Transformers.
Yeah. Oh, start it again. Right, let's go first.
It's going so smoothly.
I can go
Ah.
first.
Jamie, shall I add your pictures to the stream?
Yes, go for it. So this week I was quite excited. It was actually Saturday, the next day, to get Kingdom Tigatron, which was import stock from In Demand Toys. I kept calling them Tigatron, so it's a bit annoying. But yes, I've got Tigatron and a very sort of in cat mode, nice and big, his Voyager size, and it's obviously the sculpt's been brought up, and with minor improvements, the tabs are much stronger as well, probably because mechanically the size. But yeah, I mean, he does look beautiful, but when it comes to his cat form, it is quite, it's kind of static, it's quite stationary. There's not much flexibility apart from the legs, etc. It's not, the mouth can open and close, but I would have loved if they did something like with the Ravage head, something similar, so you could rotate the head more instead of having it fixed. And it would be awesome if that tail could move as well, like Ravage's tail can, except his tail was also very static and almost fixed like cement. Which gives it that sort of pretender look, but gives it that sort of where it doesn't really move very much, apart from obviously the legs again, which can bend forward and backwards, with the front legs can anyway. But it does give it a sort of beautiful sort of look, although, as I said before, not the most flexible.
Great photo.
So just going to check.
I love that photo.
Top 5 images so far, too.
I wish you did MPs, mate. I really wish you collected them because your photographs outdo the toy so much.
To be honest, I think your photos are. I think that's a good thing. I think when the community is and Instagram, and you look at people like yourself, Alexis, and others like Toybox, Soapbox, Sixo, Borders, dude, everyone, and Rohan split photos, the hot ones, everyone's always giving each other ideas and moving forward. So I think it's good to, always be trying different stuff. And I think that's one good thing the community has. So there you got your sort of boxes, and also got Shattered Glass Gold Bug, which is okay. I want the real Gold Bug. I want the freaking Photobots Hasbro. But yeah, so there you've got Tigatron there, and it comes in a really wonderful, nice box, fantastic box art, and again, a cool figure, quite a cool figure, nice paintwork. There's some, I mean, you're playing for a chug, this figure's like about, £24. So some of the paintwork is not fantastically on point. They've done the thing with giving the tiger sort of pupils, which always means that one pupil will be perfect and other people will be slightly slanted, and I'm like, but I don't mind because I've got a kind of slant eye as well. So I feel represented.
Why'd you tie him up?
Well, he comes tied up now with string, Alexis, because it's all about the environment these days. It's about keeping and thinking about the planet and not using heartless plastic. Actually, that has got heartless plastic on it. It was the other Gold Bug I did wrote. But but yeah, so there, Tigatron, quite posability, as I said before, quite a cool figure. And you don't notice the size at first when you're first playing around with this figure, because when I got this figure, instantly I wanted to transform it. And because I've had Cheetah, which I experimented with 25 times before I broke its neck, I was quite good at transforming this thing out the box. But before that, I thought I'd best take a comparison shot, and he is quite big. It's the same size as Dinobot, actually, to be honest. So he's got
a big face in his crutch, like a looks like a snow yeti.
Oh yeah,
looks like Alpha Trion.
Yeah, he's ready to.
Is that what happened to Alpha Trion after he died? He turned into a crutch.
Well, you obviously noticed that Cheetah's got the same design, and I think is it Shadow Panther? He's got the same as well. If you go back again, you'll see that Cheetah has got the exact same design. So it's not like they're too far outside the box, have they?
Why have Hasbro done that? Is that because they hate design?
To save money. It's just upscaled, isn't it? It's just an upscale version. They've done it before.
It's an upscaled thing, but I wanted to show sort of when I finished with the photos. But yes, so there you got Tigatron again, and as I said before, Tigatron. I keep calling him Tigatron, which means social media can be a cool place, but at least it's not as bad as that time I called that Transformer Ass Blaster.
No, Ass Blaster. How we miss him.
We'll never reach that height again.
I mean, I think
that was my favorite.
I mean, Al Hire was
that's going straight into the highlights.
I think was slightly annoyed because he misspelled Saber, Star Saber with a different way, and I was thinking, until you call something Ass Blaster, you've got no competition. Ass
Blaster. Oh, if only they would.
And yeah, he's quite a big cat, even in robot mode as well. Although he does come a bit more compact, he's slightly different transformation in the sense his arms go packed into his chest, unlike going to the side like you'd find with Cheetah. But yeah, it does look stunning. I just wish I had that, you know, movement, that sort of like flexibility, the posability that Ravage did. And there's Shattered Glass Goldbug. And to be honest, it's like we've had so many different versions of this mold anymore. I've not even bothered to transform them. But, you know, I was just happy enough to get the figure and get the comics, which is out of sync because it's like issue 1 to now I've got issue 4 because issue 3 is not arrived yet. So it's like, oh God, you know, so I can't read them.
Temptation. So
yes, looking. So there we have got a Tigatron, and I think the best thing is there is the neck bit. You've got a nice port. You can see there, and a nice big tab, and it just connects in quite nice. Where with the cheetah one, you know, the tab was quite flimsy. It didn't really fit in. It was like a kind of weird sort of like, you know, semi-moon kind of shape as it tried to be too fancy. And they just did a nice simple connection. Yeah, a nice connection, but I also think the size helps with that. The size helps definitely with that tab. As I said before, the tail is very static. You know, there's not much else you can actually do with that. And then I've got little gold bug here, and I just want the freaking photo box, so I don't really care. What else I managed to get this week for?
Wait, just before you go on, sorry to interrupt. Yeah. Just there's a bit of conversation going about Tigatron's groin and how it looks. So I want to see what it looked like if it was replaced Rachel Riley's face.
Awesome.
That's what it looks like. So
and you know what?
Very facey.
I would date that. I would.
I think I have. Anyway, moving on.
Yes. Well, you live in the
Is
north.
that a one paper bag or a super bag?
To alienate a lot of people in one shot. The Welsh, the people of the north. Keep it coming.
Do you think I just put on a sexy Scottish accent for sure?
You put on a sexy
Scottish. I come from the same village people as Alexis.
See, when Jamie, for our audience, when Jamie goes offline, you realise he's actually just a brummie.
Yeah, he fakes it. I
hope you're not insulting the Brummie fans here. But
no,
yeah,
people of the north. Oh, that's fine, but not the Brummies.
So winter is coming. So I got another gnaw because basically one of the gnaws I got for Hasbro Pulse. He seemed to have like some sort of fungus infection on his teeth. I just don't know. It was really weird. So I just, you know, took some photos, had to send back my original gnaw, which I think Hasbro Pulse is doing now because, you know, to make sure that people are not trying to scam them, etc. And so they sent me a new gnaw. So hopefully this one will have a better teeth work on it because, to be honest, you know, you're paying that sort of membership. You kind of want it's okay if there's a little paint mark and stuff like that because normally you can fix that. But when it was something like that, it was just a bit horrendous. I thought, no. But it did make me think, would you do that if it was an independent? Would you feel as confident to say, actually, I want, you know, a better version in this?
So with my cup that I had from Megatron slots, the wheel fell off, and then in putting it back on, the only way to put it back on was you had to get to go. The paint had to go a little bit, so I've let them know about it, and they've asked me for photographs. They'll get to go to X-Trans slots, and they'll get a spare part. So you can work with them. It's not about being a dick about it, as you said. It's you know.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes you might feel not at ease at being with Hasbro. You could be like, look, I'm paying customer. I want something to be exactly like it was. But sometimes you think you might be over pedantic, you know, over certain blemishes of what it definitely wasn't that. It was like it was a fungus infection. You know, I actually said that report. I also got 2 other sweeps, which I haven't opened yet. I got that delivered today. So now I've got 4 sweeps in total, which I think is enough. It's just, you know, for some like photo shoots and stuff like that.
So you went, oops, bought Nor, and then, oh dear.
Well,
these are in my basket
actually,
anyway.
Milan was like,
I'm sorry.
What you said, why do you need 2 more sweeps? And I was trying to explain to it, it's because of photo shoots and stuff like that. And I said,
I'm not sure that was CJ Facebook.
Well, I said, look, to save some money, instead of me going for a haircut, what if you give me a haircut instead? So that's what she done. She cut my hair.
She's done good.
How much she get charged for a freaking haircut?
you know, not enough for 2 sweets, but enough for one.
Jesus, I know you live down south, but
so I for the love of my Transformer collection, I let this little wee girl with a huge pair of scissors. We actually watched Chucky beforehand, so I don't think that was the best idea because she was giggling away and she had these big scissors, you know, swiping away close to my fucking ears.
Did you compare my leg to Chucky?
So I was scared I was going to lose an ear because at first when she was using the scissors, she wasn't really cutting; she was almost grabbing the hair and then pulling out the hair like that. You know, I was like, God, you're going to make me like Andy, you know, but cut, Mayland, cut. I want to keep my bits.
Unbelievable.
Yes, I do love Tigatron. It's a
I hear what you're saying then.
It's
have a whip round.
It's the exact same transformation as Cheetah, apart from the fact that the hands go into the chest there, you know, inside the compartment instead of to the side where Cheetah would be.
He doesn't have a big gap at the back there because of it.
Well, you know, it kind of works because of the way the sort of tiger's posture is, you know, the Siberian tiger, you know,
they're a bit chunky.
Biggest cat there is. Well, tiger's a bigger cat there is. But yes, so that's me, Paul. There was my wonderful pish review of Tigatron.
No, it was good. Over 2 seconds.
And more to the point, the couple who were the first couple to do the deed.
Yes.
Because that's what the show's about, isn't it? Let's be honest. I mean, that's actually what it's about.
Love.
It's about sex.
It's about sex.
Is it about our show? He's talking
about our show, isn't he?
Oh, there he was.
I never got to see my oh God, I can't even say it now. It's just not fun. But in the post for Twitter, I went, Tigatron, think of playing Eye of the Tiger music because he's a survivor. Thought that was quite clever, but apparently not.
Oh no! It's right. In the words of Frosty's, Jamie, they're great.
I knew someone's going to Frosty. It's fucking orange.
Right. Shall I go next? Because we are fucking an hour into the show.
Frosty's a snowman, mate.
No, but Frosty's.
All right. Can we move on?
Right, so I will whiz through my pickups.
No,
so
that's your Tigatron.
To everybody watching, I'm so sorry.
Not even funny.
You can't even blame it. It's just.
So this week I picked up Andres, which is Scourge from X Transbots. I think Alexis, you've got him, haven't you? He's the easiest transformation in the world, isn't he? Like from robot mode. Yeah,
not his feet, though.
Awesome.
Not his feet though.
They're a bit clungy. They took a while to get used to. So I've got some photos of him in his alt mode. So this is how he compares. So there we go. So that's him with Galvatron, Fanstoys Galvatron. I still feel he's a little bit too short. I think he's the best option you have for Scourge, but still feels a little bit too short. This is how he compares with the lower classes, the chug scale ones. You got Galvatron in the middle. This is his. Look at this. Look at this alt mode, though. Are you ready?
Go on.
Ooh, look at that.
Shit. You got the lights on.
It doesn't look a lot like the one in the movie, does it?
Doesn't it?
It looks more like a slipper.
It's the angle. It does look like one in the movie.
You're a slipper. Anyway, I photoshopped out some of the panel lines.
Oh, I've got him. Really big.
I photoshopped out some of the panel lines, so he's a lot smooth. He doesn't look that smooth in real life, but he's definitely a good one. This is what he looks like next to Judy and Richard when she's licking a glass, which I thought was quite important to get in. So yeah, that was my pickups. Also got Jabba, the Blur. So Blur. But he only literally turned up and then had to quickly go to work and come back. So I've got no photos of him, but some good heft there from Fans Toys.
You got his thing to clip in at the top, his head, his little neck to clip in.
Have I got his neck?
The peg which holds his head in. His peg at the top. My one won't clip in for love nor money.
Oh, right.
That.
It won't clip in?
No, mine don't. I don't want to force it. It's just like... It slips in, right?
What? The head?
We've
Best.
lost.
This is the best show we've ever done. This is literally the pinnacle. It doesn't get better than this.
Let's go back to talking about.
Oh, don't go off to get it. Jesus.
Oh, no.
His head.
Oh, it's pickups. It's not.
That bit there. That bit there doesn't clip in. That bit. I can't get it to clip in at the front. Like.
Ah, right. Yeah, mine's clipped in. Yeah.
How'd you clip it in?
He doesn't know. He hasn't transformed it yet.
Just
yeah, it's literally taken it out of a box.
Right, and my final one, I thought I'd bring back crap
Quietus
corner.
Oh,
yeah, for week 4.
Is this a homage to Tigatron?
It's not as good, but I'm going to do it later in the show because I'm quite ready. So,
Oh, God.
what else did I get?
You
I've got more
teasers.
stuff. I've got better stuff though. Look at this. Let me just get
Go
the
on, then.
brand back up. Come on, brand. There we go. Monsters in my pocket. Secret 12 pack.
My God. Is it
Behemoth on the front? It's a behemoth on the front.
It's sealed on this side, not sealed on this side. But
still,
What do you call that?
Wow.
Half minting box.
Half minted seal
half minting box.
Paul, that's the behemoth. But he's right at the top of the pyramid. Next
I
to
know.
the-
I know. Also got super top trunks rockets. If you can see that. So super top trunks.
These are the best of the pickups.
I went to go and get heroes and villains from the Marvel top trumps. £80 for the top trumps from the 80s.
Jesus.
And I think that was it. Yeah, that's it for me. Andrew?
I got no. He's good. Move on. Next.
Let's
We've been
go
at
back
this
to
for
talking about
nearly an hour.
Tigatron.
Look, Noah's great. I like Noah, and I wanted one, and I like him. And what do you want to say? Everybody's got a Noah now, haven't they? Who hasn't got a Noah now? He's good.
Yeah.
He's small. He's,
I've got some noise.
I know you've got some Noahs. I thought to myself, I've got to buy one before Jamie buys up literally everyone in the country. So I thought I'll grab one at least. And yeah, he's nice. He's
I
small.
stopped at 7.
I stopped at 7. Said the serial killer. Anyway, but no, it's good. I'm gonna say this. Screw it. I am gonna say this. I don't think his Shakticon mode works as well as the whatever the last version was. I don't like the legs being where they are. The legs are crap around the back like that. The legs should be further forward. But I love the robot mode. The robot mode is just perfect. The legs are too far back. Watch the film.
Yeah,
They're
definitely.
not in the right place. They had to do it because that was part of how they had to transform it.
Preach.
But, yeah.
No.
You've got 7 of them, Jamie. I know you're going to defend them. You always do. But that's not the point. It doesn't change the facts.
Look, it's an optical illusion. It's just because the little Noah has no ass. Look, it's got a flat ass. It's like it's
You're
like
all about the ass, aren't you, Jamie?
He missed ass day. He missed ass day at the gym.
It's got a nice curved ass. It's got a nice
Well,
curved
Rohan's
ass.
with me anyway.
I'm with
His
you.
legs are too far back. His legs are right down at the bottom of his ass.
It's
on that
quite
version,
bad.
mate. Look at it. You can see.
It's quite a design.
Jamie, if I
fault.
could reach through the camera and slap you.
It's
look
exactly
at it, man.
Look at it. Look. Where the legs are.
But they're not right
it's
at the back.
end
They're
of the body.
slightly forward.
That's
And those
because
ones
his
right
ass
at the
is
back.
flat.
They're just
And probably maybe at the end of the day she'll say, "There's something different about you today."
So like partridge.
That one works so
Curved
perfectly.
ass.
There's something
Flat
different
ass.
about you. Your legs further towards your butt. Anyway,
in
yeah.
In the Hasbro meeting that
No,
day.
he's
What's the
good.
next
If you haven't
shot's-
bought one, buy one.
Next shot's gonna need. Oh, I know what shot's gonna need. He needs more ass.
I will say what also made me want to buy him was when Alexis got his and showed it off on the show and then admitted that he thought there was 2 of them in the box because the black bit was separate. And then when he realised there wasn't, he was like, "What? Is that it?"
Yeah.
Oh, that tickled me.
James
But no, I
quit
like
the show
it.
now.
Yes, James said he's rage quit. How dare you insult the Nora?
I'm just watching from the dark, like I'm doing Tuesdays.
I will be super quick.
I am watching you
I'll
through
be,
the
I'll
window.
be gentle. I'll be gentle on you boys because again I haven't been here for a couple of weeks because I had a new baby. So
God.
I've got a few things. So I won't go.
There's
through all of it
75,
today.
isn't there? Oh, here we go.
There's not. I'll partition it into a couple of weeks. All right. So first things first. Remember that lovely figure that I love that doesn't ever fall over on itself, and I keep wasting money on that extra transport Menosaur that I've got, which is amazing, and I really love it. I got a backpack for it. So this is a 3D printed custom backpack. It screws on. And the idea is that this actually replace it. You can get a toy one or a tomb one. So the toy one actually looks like it's got the cab, like the wheels of the cab, the bottom of the truck coming out, and this one basically comes at the back, and you can actually then take out the Motor Master and have it as a separate box. So you get, and this is so I got that from America. That was made. I'm doing very limited stuff tonight. I got Magnus. I want to do a little thing on him, so I'll probably do some comparisons next week of him. That's New Age Magnus. New Age really know how to do a box. Like their boxes always make the figure look so cool. You've got a little bit from the movie there on the back. Looks really cool there, and it's like it looks like a decent figure. Like I'm not overly impressed with the Magic Square one. It looks really good. It's a bit of a model.
Could you pick up the box a second again, Alexis? It's a bit. So when you got the box there, and then you turn it around, just turn it around to see the back image. Turn it around.
The back image.
See, you flipped it, haven't you? Because I've got the photos upside down.
Yeah.
Never.
Just
turn it round the other way, sideways.
No,
that's not sideways. No, you're still upside down.
You're a snake salesman.
Oh my, the salesman. Anyway,
I got Acoustic Wave. I think most people got that, and then I got Powerglide as well. So I'll do a couple of photographs of those two. Cool. I've got very many. Acoustic Wave, like him a lot. Ratchets in. He's got ratchets in. Ratchets like in the arms here, but also ratchets this way as well. Like he's got a lot of ratchets everywhere. Bit of a backpack, but you put his guns in here in the back here as well. Lots of die cast through. You can change all the parts. You can change all these parts out. His head, the kneecaps, these bits, and put the side panels on to make him more toy accurate as well, which is really quite interesting. Button works, pretty good button there. Shapes go in there as well. Fingers are actually quite impressed. The fans' toys have changed the way they do their fingers, which is really impressive as well. Overall, really cool. The head sculpt this is amazing, like the eyes, and that just pops at you. I wasn't sure about him. He's got a big heft to him as well. But then you got this is the original Takara, which is now 8 years old. I've got the toy version because it came with all the tapes. And I guess there's differences. So depending on what you like, it's a different blue as well. But I've got some comparison shots. I don't actually have them together, actually. I just realized in the comparison because everyone's done that anyway. So I'll just hold them up so you can see people want to see who haven't seen. But go watch a different review on the comparisons. There's lots of
I must admit, I do like it when the eyes are really good. Is that because it's painted on or really good, strong color?
Yeah, it's painted on. Yeah, that's it. That's the idea. So painted on seems to be much better than light piping. And I know Takara used to do a lot of light piping or try and do light up eyes. So I've got a couple of comparison shots with the four that you appreciate that he probably would be with, which is Starscream, Megatron, Shockwave. So the usual suspects really. Goes up. So there he is. That's Takara, Starscream, Takara, everything apart from Acoustic Wave there. So he fits in quite well. That's obviously scale. But I thought actually he's quite big because he's taller than the other Takara Soundwave. And I thought, but he's not taller than Megatron, which is important. So I thought, well, I'll swap him out and put in maybe wrong screen. The other foursome. So then you've got Crimson Wing, which is the other third party Starscream, and you've got the other fans' toys, Quake Wave, which is a bit bigger. I just realised I've got an echo in there.
I think that's a good image. You know, it'd be good if you could Photoshop our faces onto these figures. Would be pretty awesome. That I think.
I'm straight.
So you can see that if you look at this, if you look at those, which ones do you think look more in tone? Shockwave looks really small with the Takara version, doesn't he? Like he's tiny compared to the rest. But then that one there looks quite good. And then if you swap them out a little bit more, this is the old version. So that you've got the old and the new, so you can see the difference in what they look like there. And that to me, that looks very much like the Chug version now does, in a sense. Like that shows obviously how far Chug's come in that respect. But this isn't a bad. But a lot of people are struck. I was chatting to a chap today about buying his old version 1 lock, which is broken, because I want to do like a fix me cup from the movie. So he's trying to. He might have sent it back. He might not. If he doesn't, it's going to go in the bin. So, he said, "Oh, do you want to buy Acoustic Wave because it's too cartoon for me?" So it depends what you want, really. But overall, as a boss itself, he's really quite. He's got a lot of pose, a lot of character about him.
What
Go on.
colour would you say that Shockwave was?
Purple.
I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could...
Anything you like.
I'm not mentioning colours anymore. So yeah, jumping out, as you do, flying through the sky, and that he just holds in there, actually. There's nothing to hold him in there. And there he is with all his minions. So that's quite cool. So there's the MMC tapes, and then you got the Takara birds, which is quite cool. So that's Acoustic Wave, and then I got Powerglide from Iron Factory. Thank you. I got Iron Factory Powerglide, and I started doing photographs. I had him he's in robot mode. I tried transforming, and like a couple of ball pegs popped off, and I couldn't quite. And he always went like, "Oh, this is." And so after about 5 minutes of flapping, I was like, "You know what? This guy is actually not very much fun." So I got one picture of him with his friends in alt mode from season 2. I think he looks quite good. And then I realized I can't be asked to transform him back into robot mode. So that's me. Oh yeah. So if you want to know what Powerglide's like, just buy him. It's pretty cheap.
Great review on Powerglide.
That's what everybody gave.
He scales well.
Alexis, was that because you were too busy trolling today on the internet when we said don't, Alexis, don't?
I had a second
he's
go.
always with the troll.
I had a second go. I can get him into robot mode quite easily from here. He's okay. Just don't know. No, I can't bother. It's too panelly. Can't be asked.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
Cool.
How come? I got to bed at 8 o'clock last night because, I take this seriously. You presumably were in bed at 2. Haven't you lost some weight since I was last here? Do you weigh yourself compulsively?
No, not at all.
You weigh yourself compulsively. He's so like Alan Partridge.
Did he get replaced with Piers? So he went from him to Piers Morgan. It's like lesser of two evils, right?
I think he is the lesser. Okay.
Not the way you're portraying him.
Right, let's do Rohan's corner. Rohan.
Time for a change, Megatron. It's time for action, not words. I am the leader of the future.
All hail Starscream! I can't hear you! All hail Starscream! One more time! All hail Starscream!
This is going to be juicy.
Shut your mouth, you worthless piece of junk. You're so lucky, I should melt you down. Oh, I'm so tempted.
It's time to transform. Welcome to Rohan's Corner.
Rohan!
Over the years, there have been thousands, possibly even tens of thousands of Transformers characters created by Hasbro. So much so that I'd be so bold as to say Hasbro probably don't even know how many characters they've created, let alone how many times they've reused one character's name in a different character's mentality later on in another series. It's become a bit of a trend where the reuse of characters' names or characters throughout different series has had an impact in different manners and in different ways. And not always are those characters the same sort of mentality or the same sort of persona that they were in their original incarnation from, say, Generation 1 to Armada, or maybe even the Unicron trilogies into the War for Cybertron trilogy. It's become the situation that actually, throughout history, Transformers have transformed themselves in terms of their character, but not just their character, also in terms of their alternate modes. And what I want to talk about here is a few weeks ago I did a review of Fanstoys Innuendo. And in my video review, I did some editing and I added some video clips of other forms of Repgar we've seen throughout the years, including Transformers Animated Repgar. And Transformers Animated Repgar was a different alternate form of Repgar. It was actually a very similar character to the Generation 1 character, but it had its own sort of spin on the character and also a completely different alt mode. He went from being some sort of Cybertronian / alien motorcycle to a rubbish truck, which was pretty cool. And it got me thinking, what other Transformers have there been through the ages who have gone from one alt mode to another alt mode, and why? And are there any that have been improved over that time? And are there any that have gone backwards? And the answer is there's loads, right? Absolutely loads. However, there are certain characters who are absolutely synonymous with their alt modes. If we think of the likes of Optimus Prime, for example, he's always been some form of truck. And the same goes for Starscream and the Seekers. Characters like Hound and Trailbreaker always have the same sort of alt modes, that Jeep or SUV type alt mode. The Dinobots are absolutely synonymous with their alt modes. The Constructicons, Warpath, the Citybots and the Titans, even Ravage. On the flip side, you've got the characters who have absolutely changed their alt modes completely. Characters like RC, who's flipped from being a car to being a motorcycle to being a car to being a motorcycle in various different forms of the franchise. Characters like Megatron, who have been a plethora of different alt modes for a multitude of different reasons. And sometimes these alt modes have been the necessity to change because of characters like Megatron having a gun alt mode. Shockwave is the same. Soundwave too, because, you know, through the decades, tape devices have gone out of fashion and they're no longer things that children of today recognize. Of course, it hasn't always worked. If you look at Cybertron Soundwave's alt mode, that Cybertronian jet was cool, was kind of weird. And if you look at his alt mode in one of the movies when he turned into a satellite, okay, that was different, bit weird, but hey. And then there's other characters, the likes of Thrust. Thrust is a really interesting one because in Generation 1, he was one of the Seeker / Coneheads. He had a resurgence in Beast Machines as a Viacon drone leader who was a motorcycle. Absolutely different character, but same name, totally different alt mode. Actually turned out to be based on Waspinator's character. Later on we found that out in the series, spoiler alert. However, still it's interesting that he's gone from a jet to a motorcycle. He goes back to a jet again later in Armada, and yeah, continues to have various different forms and shapes. And a couple of Beast Wars shoutouts. It's kind of hard to do this with Beast Wars because obviously you've got very succinct beast shapes and forms that characters have had, and therefore they can't really go from being a truck to monkey, so to speak. But Silverbolt, for example, a jet in Generation 1 ends up being a flying character in Beast Wars, and Scorponok, who was obviously a scorpion in Generation 1, ends up being a scorpion in Beast Wars, and there's continuity there. So all of this got me thinking as to which Transformers have had improved alternate modes over the years. And I would think that Wreck-Gar for me as a rubbish truck actually makes a lot more sense than as a Cybertronian motorcycle or even an Earth-based motorcycle. I personally much prefer that alternate mode for him. And in fact, I would like him to have that again in the future. I quite liked the fact that Thrust went from a jet to a sort of a jet turbo type motorcycle, although I would say that probably moving him back to a jet was the right thing to do. It was nice to have that spin-off for a while. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are. Which Transformers do you think have had improved alternate modes, and which ones do you think have become worse over time? I quite enjoy the fact that Soundwave has gone back to being a tape player because it's iconic, obviously. However, I can understand why Hasbro have tried to change him over the years. Moving forward, I'd like to see some form of new take on that with digital type of media players or alternate sound systems being utilised, as we've had in the past with things like Transformers Animated and so on and so forth with his character. That would be very cool. Anywho, for another week, I've been Rohan on Rohan's Corner. Thanks for joining me. Back to the studio.
Hey boys, we've been rumbled. Well, let's bounce.
I think we can all agree that Huffer's got progressively worse and worse in his alt mode over the years.
Oh, Huffer is the king. Leave him alone.
He is bad. He's a bad Transformer.
It's one thing I wanted to ask, maybe Rohan, since he's quite a good expert in Beast Wars, is I didn't understand. It's hard to see with my light, actually.
The
light has to be quite bright to see my wonderful, face. But why is it got a freaking brain gun? Cheetah
has one as well.
Yeah, I mean, my God, it's awful.
Power of brains.
It's like and then I'm not so sure about the way they decide to store these guns, like a penis underneath. It's just two things. I would have thought they could have put a port to the side or the top would be better rather than underneath. So it's only two things I'm just not sure of: why it's a brain and why it's stored like a penis underneath. So someone could explain that to me.
In the MP version, it actually becomes like it goes up into his gut and becomes like his liver or like his stomach. That's like, so when he comes out, he takes it out of himself. It's like that's how it's stored. Like if you look up the picture of the MP cheetah or Tigatron, the gun becomes part of his like lower torso. So what they've done is that gappage you have at the back, they should have put it in there to make it actually look like a penis. So with brain,
look like a
what? You know what that could be. Well, the brain, the brain
look
looks
like a penis.
I'll show you the brain afterwards.
Well, to be honest, it doesn't take too much of imagination to get it fitted in like that, but I just don't know if it looks good.
Right, was that your point on Tigatron?
Yes, that's me finished.
Alexis, what did you want to talk about? Something that happened in the past on the show?
I was just going to say on Rohan's piece, just to add, I think obviously Soundwave, obviously in the movies was obviously a satellite, wasn't he? And potentially a satellite. This might be quite cool. The one thing I was going to say about my Soundwaves I bought was he didn't. I was considering keeping the Takara version of Starscream because I preferred the way he looked and thought he scaled better. I thought definition was too big, but now that I've got a Soundwave which is a little bit bigger, the Starscream actually makes it look alright. And now I'm questioning the bloody Shockwave I've got. I'm thinking maybe I should use the Fanstoys one in place. So scale, funny thing, made me question a lot of things today.
Yeah, I think the scale's kind of off, well, maybe not for me, but yeah.
Pants. Right, moving on to Foursome.
Any moment now.
These are sex people.
What do you mean?
They're sex swappers. Lynn, this is DEFCON 1. Look. Look. Don't make the same noise as them. Don't think you want to join in.
So we all choose a Transformer tonight. The theme is Megatron, and we're going to talk a little bit about a Megatron toy in our collection. Yep.
Someone just said no Fanstoys Innuendo tonight. No Fanstoys Innuendo tonight, no?
Say what you see. Right.
Feels like the kind of question you didn't need to ask on it.
Right, who would like to go first?
I can go first, Paul.
Go on. Thank you, sir.
Right. So my version of Megatron I decided to pick, to me, is one of the ultimate versions of Megatron, and that's a Netflix version of Siege Megatron. Which came out after the Earthrise Megatron with the ridiculous mug was released. So this was back to Siege Megatron with a slightly more silver paint work done to it, to the Megatron that we love. Nice, big and strong, powerful shoulders, the evil look, a cannon which works, which is on his forearm like it should be, and yes, it's the Megatron we want. I think with Centurion, you did get some extra pieces which you could fit to give the idea of a muzzle, or was that Soundwave? I can't actually remember. But yes, exact same transformation, not surprisingly, as the Earthrise Megatron. But as I said before, just a slightly better paint work with a much more, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's more cartoon or comic accurate. It's just that the sense it just seems to work better. That sort of like gunmetal silver kind of decor he's got going. It's like a Megatron. He's ready to go around the town and go dancing and having a good time and well dressed, and and he's got dents and stuff, but it's like the fashion, ripped jeans, etc. So yeah, this Megatron works. He is beautiful. He is like a masterpiece. Many masterpiece.
Are you saying he's the Justin Bieber of the Megatron world? That he's He's
You think
fashionable.
Justin
he's
Bieber's beautiful? If you want to shag Justin Bieber, this is not the place to have that conversation.
You escalated that very quickly.
I think I had to.
All
the ripped
all
jeans
opinions
and
are valid here,
being
Jamie.
cool
Leave
and
him alone.
No.
Well, he does it on his own time. It's a modern world.
I do
Leave
like
him
that
be.
song, Baby, Baby. I like that one. That's quite good.
Just
Which song was that?
Sounds like you're a believer. Which yours is followers. I'm one of them.
Stop
We all
talking.
have to be a believer.
Stop talking. Just everyone stop talking. Right, who would like to go next?
No, I haven't
Oh,
finished.
sorry. Fucking hell.
Well, we were talking.
Look how fast he transforms it. And also change the paintwork.
Fucking like lightning. Fucking like lightning.
It's almost like it's a different toy.
Right.
I think you'll find your eyes.
Looking forward to this in TFM.
Do they now? Do they now?
So this is Megatron into what?
Why
is
must you turn this into a house of
cyber-
lies?
A Cybertronian tank.
Oh dear.
And
You know what? You split his legs
muzzle.
out of the fucking base mode there. He's.
Well, if you have him like this, you can see his face. Of fucking the illusion shattered. If you have him that way, he's a rocket. But yes, Cybertronian Megatron. I mean, to be honest, it looks good like a tank from the front. Your imagination doesn't need to work that hard. It does look like a tank, a Cybertronian sort of alien type tank. It can rotate slightly. You know, the muzzle can go up so much so. But yeah, it's a good toy. It's a Megatron I like. And I think it's a good representation of a character. Much better than the Titans Return version from yesteryear.
Oh, that's that one. The Combiner Wars one. The Titans Return one was wank. The Combiner Wars one was okay. And the KBB KO one with the upgrade kit was really nice.
Yes. Yeah, the leader-sized Combiner War one was really good. Good call. Yeah.
Right, I'll go next then. So, if you're not a massive flake and you don't like your bloody Megatron turning into the wrong alt mode, then I would suggest going for this guy. Now, he's not my favourite Megatron ever, but he ticks so many bloody boxes. And he comes in the box, which is great as well. So this is Fanstoys Megatron, which is a copy of DX9, I think, Megatron. Now, this guy not only pulls off a pretty handsome Megatron style, he has the gun tethered to his arm, as Jamie said it should be. He has a trigger, a working trigger. It's not a real gun, but it does transform. And I can probably pull the box up here. Look at that gun. Look at that gun mode. That is your Megatron right there. Now, this will be considerably less than probably any other Megatron shown today on the show. He's got the whole water. Is it a water PP?
No, it's not. It's not Megatron. It says on the back of the box, Megatron. It's a different character. I'm sorry. Suddenly your opinions are invalid. I'm sorry, Paul. That's such
if this is your first day in,
you were going so well.
Andy, this is the Megatron from that famous rap group, Itsy Trigger Finger Figures.
No, don't say it.
Andy's changed people. Andy's got darker.
And he comes with, look, these are things.
Take it down that route.
If you ever lived in Hasbro world, you won't know what these are, but these are accessories. They come with the Transformer. They make him, you can change things about and give him different arms. He's even got a sword. Time in
the bar.
There he is. He wins. Right, who's next?
No, Paul, you continue to talk.
Don't
you let yourself be bullied by these mean-spirited people.
I miss you.
Anyway, right. It was, all right, it's Alexis, is it? Fuck you, then. Unbelievable.
I've got MP36. This one's close to my heart because my wife got it for my birthday. I think it was my 30th or... I think it was actually my 30th birthday present, and
20 years ago.
Talking about issues, it had an issue with the face, so bought it from Kapow, and Kapow.
Can I just say something, Alexis?
Yes.
It's just someone said there. I quite like Titans Return. It's Dave actually. Dave has plausible nipples. He said it was him and Titans Return Optimus that got him back into collecting as an adult. My son has them now, and they are fun toys. Isn't that where Transformers go to die when you give them to your children?
What? Not unless your son's called eBay.
Oh, it's cool. It's cool that you pass the Transformers on.
It is.
Right, and you're going to Transformers live.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna transform him into. He comes with lots of accessories. I'll like this. There you go, transforms. Very quickly put it on his alternate mode, which is the battle damage mode that you get from the movie accessories. Don't worry about that. His hands come off. This is off. So actually, sorry, tell a lie. So this one here is
now handless.
This one here is the knockoff version. But he does have the accessory, so I could do the movie thing. The original comes with this as well. His gun lights up in both of these as well. He's got a bit of a gappy back, but overall, like through just presence in this guy, he is like the Megatron you want. Comes with lots of alternate heads as well. I just like the stern face, but you talk about eyes, Jamie, as well. That one sort of they're all just painted on there as
yeah.
He's got a lot of good articulation, lots of soft ratchets, I would say. The only gap he's got is on his back, which is that, and you can buy a thing for it. You can buy alternate heads, which do the light up eyes. I bought the box, the third party box, the light up eyes. Doesn't look as good as the painted eyes actually. The painted eyes look because again, you wouldn't have it.
Photography, it's so much better with the painted eyes.
Yes, I've realised that. Taking pictures of that star screen, that star core, like you couldn't tell the eyes were lit up half the time. It was quite hard to tell. And again, when you've got you pose them on the shelf, lights off most of the time. They should doing something special with them, so they just look dead inside, like that. Like
so went from melting keens.
Like Retro Eye does there. But he's got really again the transformation is a little bit frustrating, a little bit finicky. But overall, once you get this again, you've got the full accessories come so you can make the full sort of like not the miniature version of the wall for PP but the big one with the sort of resting wherever it is the bit for your shoulder and stuff, the Fortnite version.
Do you ever think you'd be fucked, Alexis, if you were taking Megatron on a plane and then they asked you to transform the thing?
What's to prove it wasn't a gun? No, I just shoot him. There's a better chance of making it into a real gun.
That was the original story, wasn't it? The G1 story when you had the salesman said that they had like going to these toy fairs and they actually had to transform the thing in front of the security staff to tell them it was a toy.
Yeah.
He has a reputation as being one of the harder transformations, doesn't he? MP36.
He's. Do you know what? I actually prefer this transformation to the Magic Square version. That's yeah. This one is difficult in the sense of the arms and try and get the arms to connect in at the end, but a bit like the Magic Square version actually. But this one actually, once you start doing it, it's fine. No, it's solid. You know, again, there's no issues here. I wouldn't be scared of breaking this figure. Like the MP44, I was a little bit scared of breaking that because it had a bit of QC. This is before Hasbro or Takara had their QC issues, so it's actually very solid as a figure, in that sense as well. What was I you made me forget what I was going to say about it now. So
I apologize.
No. It'll come back. I'm sure it'll come back to when you're making a point later.
Andy.
There we go.
It's your Megatron.
Oh, it's my turn now, is it? It's fucking my turn now, is it? Thanks.
Right, and on to discussion.
Play a Richard Madeley clip. I'll wait.
People listen to the news. Oh, yes. Yeah. It's just got a nice groove
How
to
do you
it.
see you with the shaving mirror in the morning? Yeah.
It reminds me of a great film, you know, Back to the Future and all of that.
course.
Yeah. That's a good one to start with.
Okay.
Okay, let us know what yours are. What price do you put on your pet's care? Is there a point where you say, too expensive, the dog has to die?
Oh.
What I love there was I thought I'll see if he'll do it, and I wasn't even going to say anything there. I just went right on the nail.
Sorry,
Was that the one about where he said, "Nope, that's too expensive. Let the dog die."
When you take his head off, you actually get the face from like Unicron.
Oh, Alexis.
Fantastic. Anyway, right. So you're all wrong, and that's because I'm going for Generation Select Super Megatron. And the reason why he is by far the best Megatron, other than the fact he just looks frigging awesome all the time, is the fact that when this figure was first revealed and released, I remember saying to Jamie, and it'll be on video somewhere because it was on the show, it didn't look that great. I'm not really bothered about that. And then Jamie got it in hand, and he showed off some photos and stuff. Yeah, don't talk about that, Jamie. We don't talk. You didn't drop it. Somebody else knocked it off. The cat. And I just remember looking at it then and going, shit, I was very wrong about this. And thankfully, I'm trying to remember, I think it was in demand. Got some more in stock, and I picked it up. And he is just... The most incredible thing about this is basically the Titans Return Galvatron mold. And you would not... You pick it up in hand, and you can pick up the Titans Return Galvatron.
You can change little things in it as well.
It's just... It just shows how close the Titans Return Galvatron mold got.
It's like accessory heaven.
It's just brilliant. And the thing is, you essentially got 4 modes with it. You know, you can have the face mask that comes around. That's, to me, reminiscent of the which movie was it when Megatron had the face mask? Was it Age of Extinction? I can't remember now. Anyway, they're all shit. But the point is, it has that kind of battle mask thing, which did look kind of cool with the little horns. You've got all these accessories you can piss about with, but just keeping him as a kind of classic looking Megatron, Cybertronian style, whatever that means, because it can mean whatever the smeg you want it to mean. The cannon, which looks badass. I mean, I use this basically as my IDW style Megatron, and I just absolutely friggin' love it. Now, the alternate mode is not quite as hot, but then you don't buy this for the alternate mode. And to be honest, if you're somebody who has like a Megatron figure and you display it in the alternate mode, then why be bothered? Because Megatron deserves to be displayed in his robot mode, and this is just a frigging awesome Megatron. And even I say it again, I'm still surprised by how much I love this damn thing. I'd literally sell all my other Chug Megatrons and just keep this one, because this
his
one.
Head
I do
stay
love
on. Is his head like a? Is his head? Because obviously,
it's like a mask thing that's built into it, so you don't have to remove the head already. It's not like a head swap. You literally can do it. I mean, you've got like things like the armor that can all swap around. You've got loads of bits and pieces you can piss about with, and it's just it's the play value that's there. I know we joke about giving it to kids, but we got to remember these ultimately you come back to it. And yes, they target us as adult collectors now. I think I read a stat somewhere that's like 30% of all Transformers sold go to adult collectors now. But these are still essentially children's toys. I know, whisper it quietly, Jamie, don't get angry. But they are. And you could give this to a kid, and all right, they'll break it because kids are awful. But they'd enjoy it, and they get a lot of fun and play value out of this. I know if I was a kid and I'd received a Megatron like this with the amount of play value that it has and what you can do with it, I'd have been absolutely smegging chuffed.
I mean, I think this is a perfect example to show what they can do with old molds as well, because the amount of creativity they put into that Galvatron mold and made it an Ember toy, plus not having to be stuck using the head mechanic as well. Because I noticed when they were talking about Draculus coming out, they were thinking, will it have the head mechanic like Mindwipe had? And there's just no reason to stick to the rule book. You know, they can do a lot with these molds and go back to even older ones.
It shows that a lot of the older molds, as you say, were actually not that far off being really good, you know. And in that period, I still think that Prime Wars period, there was a hell of a lot of good things they did with Transformers. And it gets shat on a little bit now, like Combiner Wars especially gets a lot of grief.
Yeah,
and
the Seacons were amazing. And
the Seacons, which, come from that whole kind of like, well, it is really Combiner Wars, and then it kind of spilled over into Power of the Primes with the Terracons, who I love, obviously, and then the Seacons. Yeah. Oh, god damn, those Seacons are awesome. But yeah, if you're going to go for a Megatron, bit different. I know there was loads of comments about Andy's going to pull out the G1. I don't own a G1 Megatron, and part of the reason why I don't own a G1 Megatron is because my mate had it when we were kids, and I played with it around at his house, and it was shit. I'm sorry. I love Megatron as a character, love him, but the G1 toy, you're like, what's going on? Why is he triggering his crotch?
We missed some news today, didn't we, Andy? Hey? There was some news because there's an upgrade for Poseidon, isn't there?
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, I did see that, and I wish I'd sent it to the news, because actually, it does make Piranha Cod look
awesome,
freaking more awesome than he already does. Just makes him look so beefy and so like and I don't normally go in for those kind of kits because I'm a bit of a purist, but I'm
Dreamwave
a little bit. Is it Dreamwave? Thank you, Alexis. Any idea on price, Alexis?
I think it's 50 quid. About 50 quid.
Right.
You
know what? I wouldn't normally.
But... New chest plate and.
Where would you recommend buying it from?
Yeah, where's the best place to pick that up? The Mega Lock or something?
Megalock might. I haven't seen the Megalock. I think Megalock do it. I think they do it. They're plus postage. I think it's 50 quid plus postage.
Thank you, Ed.
Megalock. I think Kapow do it as well, and obviously probably in demand. So your usual retailers should have it in stock. It's a fairly fought after.
I'll prop down to Poundland.
Back time I've got a fucking trombone. Honorable mention, please.
You can do your next one. You can do Beast Wars in a sec. You can do. You're doing discussion time. Right. Okay. So the discussion time. Our favorite villain, starting off with Alexis talking about Beast Wars Megatron. You can do your villain as well. Do both. Do both, mate. Do both.
We now return to the Transformers.
Bloody hell. That is a change of format I wasn't expecting. So discussion time is all about our favourite villain. So take it away. So Alexis, first of all, you're going to talk about Beast Wars Megatron. Just from the last discussion, you're just etching that into there. And
so a couple of guys mentioned in the chat. Dave mentioned it as well. Again, he's a good Megatron. He's good. He's just not my Megatron. Again, I've got personal reasons for that Megatron, which is why my wife bought it for me. But as Beast Wars Megatron goes, this thing here is quite phenomenal. Again, in the sense that the little things about it, which you might not know, is again the eyes you can roll round. So you've got the pupils for the robot mode, and then you got the red eyes for the dinosaur mode. You've got a little you can put the laser in here, so it's got the laser which comes out. Laser comes out of there as well. So that comes with a golden disc. He has the speaker in here, so he actually talks as well. So everyone loves how like Megatron's just us now. Megatron's one-liners in Beast Wars.
You, Alexis.
He has it as well. He can also decouple all of the actual kits. So all this kit which is on him here, you can take everything off, strip everything back, so he's just like he was when he first arrived on Earth.
Can you give him real hands, Alexis?
He's got real hands. He's got real hands. And a real hand here, and there's a real hand under here as well.
All right.
So you got. I'm pretty sure you got real hand under there. No, just one real hand, just one real hand, and then the jaws. So yeah, so one real hand. Everything else is good. And scale wise,
and then the jaws.
He's about the same size as he's actually bigger, I think, than
I was going to say he's bigger, isn't he?
Yeah, they're the same. So yeah.
So does it worry you, but he's off scale then? Because in the cartoon he was quite small in comparison to the Transformers.
Well, until I saw that Tigatron, not because of your pictures, but because of just generally like. But I think things like the Beast Wars Megatron are fucking awesome. Like the chug versions, if you get the filler kits to go with it, it's really good. And like I was looking at, and I'll show my wife the Jurassic Park toy which came out recently, and I was saying, I really want to get Ethan this kit. Because he wouldn't even transform it. He wouldn't even know. He wouldn't care to transform it. He's just like, it's just a really posable T-Rex and a Jeep that he can wreck. and I was like, if it was like,
so you want to buy it for the kids?
Well, if it was this is the point, right? If it was 80 quid,
you want to spend £80 on a dinosaur tour and a Jeep for the kids.
Have you seen how much? Have you not seen how much?
£120. Sorry.
If you want to buy a realistic dinosaur, which is not posable, you're looking at 15 to 20 quid. For one, and they break.
It's less than 120, but all right.
No, no. So you can actually
get a Jeep for probably less than 20 quid.
I think. I think comics and cocktails, or where is it? I saw it for £100. £100. I saw it for. So
I still think that's a rip off. But anyway, go on.
Well, yeah, £80.
You are paying for the license. You're not paying for necessarily the quality of the toy. You're paying for the license. That's what it comes down to.
Beast Wars Megs 50.
Sorry, truth bombs. I'm dropping them. Ask Ed.
No, I agree. Beast Wars Megs were 50 quid. The car bot was 20 quid. £70. Extra £10 for the license. That's what I give it. Extra £30. No. So I haven't bought one. So yes, this is a really cool character. He had some issues with the waste.
I would have bought one, Alexis, but Mayland decided to get you a card.
I know,
leave it. Jamie, let it go.
Sam laughed after that.
The tears are real.
He had an issue with the waist where you had to actually people were breaking this Megatron. Because when it was spring loaded to get him to extend in height for the robot mode, and the way to do it is just to get a spudger in there and just tweet, like, like a little wedge, just push it in, and eventually it'll pop up. People are trying to rip it up, and obviously with the spring, the force of the spring plus the force of you pulling it, hyperextended it, and yeah, it kind of snapped. So that's what I would do. I haven't transformed him back yet. I want to do that. I'm actually now in a place where I want to actually transform all my Beast Wars characters back into beast mode. So he's a really cool villain too.
Sorry. He is. I have to say, I haven't seen all the Beast Wars, so I can't sit here and say, yes, I'm a Beast Wars aficionado. But the amount of people I say how fantastic he was as a villain. Although he seems a bit hammy to me, the whole yes and all that. I'm not saying he's bad.
That's what you wanted. That's what you wanted. He comes even this figure even comes with a toothbrush, so you can clean the teeth like he used to in the cartoon as well. He used to have a toothbrush which he had the cartoon to clean his. He used to have a symbiotic relationship with the T-Rex, and the T-Rex head in robot mode used to talk independently to Megatron. He used to have these little moments where he was like stroking a cat, Inspector Gadget. Yeah, like that sort of cat. Like
Rohan's just pointed out that the discussion question was best villains.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so if Megatron to me was almost like Darth Vader. He equaled the Force because he went into Beast Machines and wiped out every Transformer, and then he lost his own life. Prime sacrificed himself naturally again to destroy both of them, and then spoiler alert, Cheetor became the successor and then the leader of everyone else, didn't he? At the end, and he wiped out all Transformers, bad guys and good guys.
He's still here.
It's still going. Paul's gone for cheese.
Oh, can we do some more sex?
Right, who's your villain then? Just, moving things along slightly by an hour.
Did you still not answer the question? He's been there.
No, he's not. I think it's not even Beast Wars Megatron. That's the thing. It's not even Beast Wars Megatron.
It is now. Well done. That was a good choice, Alexis. Beast Wars Megatron was your choice.
He's good. I'll come back to that. If Paul doesn't come back, I'll pick another one.
No, you won't.
Who's going next?
Sorry,
we need
Alexis.
Paul back.
Sorry, Alexis.
Are you going again? Carry on then. Just 1 second.
I need a beer now. A beer, some Prozac.
Where did I put the hard drugs? I'm joking. It's a joke.
Don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't use any kind of drugs.
No.
Another beer?
Yeah. Jamie, you're next.
Jamie, go on.
I'll go. All right, okay. So the character I've picked is Thunderwing.
Nice.
He, to me, is one of the most iconic villains, especially from the Marvel UK comics, which I think of Thunderwing. I don't really think of Thunderwing from the IDW version iteration, but so I think of Marvel UK, where he was a fantastic, successful, actually, very clever, brave Decepticon leader. Obviously, he went out of control, but he did it in a good way. He went out of control and still managed to get the Matrix, which is a good thing. Normally, villains go out of control and they completely mess up in a downward spiral. He was actually successful and turned the Matrix evil. And to me, he's a pretender as well, which is, as I said before, I love the pretenders. I've got a good collection of pretenders. I'm still missing some like Starscream and stuff like that from the Pretender Classics, which are a bit pish. But yes, him is brilliant, and I've obviously got which I managed to pick up for £50. The only thing I was missing was the gun, but Andy gave me a virtual gun. So
was that £50 with the inner robot as well? Because if it was, that is an unbelievable bargain, Jamie.
Yeah, that's
like they're 100 plus most of the time.
It all works. It's brilliant and stuff like that. I really love the figure, and obviously I did my attempt at a custom, the easiest custom ever, where all I did was get the headmaster and just switch it on the body.
That's still a custom. It counts.
And then I had my Thunderwing, and obviously I've given them the Matrix, which comes with Galvatron Selects. That nice green colourful Matrix from the comics. I still remember that cover. With Thunderwings, holding the Matrix with the chains. That's that's that imagery I come back to when I think of my greatest Decepticon villain. I think the thing I like about Thunderwing as well is because not only he was just connected to like the Pretenders, he was connected to the fact he was moving that story along when Megatron and the Galvatron issue had been played out to almost death. And he was this new, wonderful figure. He came in with some wonderful writing. He was involved with the Micromasters, you know, and why the Micromasters came to be. You know, there was that issue where the Micromasters were sent into a Decepticon base, and they came across Thunderwing. How unlucky is that to come across one of the most dangerous Decepticons there is? And the thing about Thunderwing, he was chosen to be the Decepticon leader by the Decepticons at High Council. You know, so instead of plotting and weighing, murdering and killing, which you could easily do, you know, he actually got there and completely on merit.
I remember that story because didn't he go to the council and he actually offered to, like, he basically said, "Look, I failed. Fair enough. Whatever your judgment, I'll accept it." And, like,
Yeah.
you know, you weren't used to a rational Decepticon leader, and he was
Honourable.
most of the time until the Matrix
off
Quest,
the-
when he lost it
Yeah.
and got a bit the obsession, and then the power of the Matrix, the evil Matrix, dark Matrix, whatever we call it.
Yeah, and it kind of corrupted him. And, you know, to be honest, it was a shame because you'd think, because he was a worthy adversary. And to me, he's better than Beast Wars Megatron, because Beast Wars Megatron, no matter what he'd done with his little yes and his little, you know, acting as if he's a butler.
Get it right. It was.
Oh, don't forget his rubber ducky, because that makes him hardcore.
Yeah.
Wait.
He didn't
Take a load to
accomplish
Beast Wars
anything,
fans.
did he? Because he continuously lost. You know,
Rubber
continuously
ducky.
lost.
What the?
Wait for it. Yes. that was it.
That's just
It needs
the
work. We're
only
gonna try.
Yes.
I didn't mean now.
So that was my
Maybe.
best villain, Thunderwing.
Oh dear. You muted
just want
Paul.
to say, absolute power corrupts absolute there. Thundering.
If I had to choose one, mine would probably be Fred West. He deceptively kept on burying girls under his own patio, which I think awful. Like that behaviour. Like nowadays, you wouldn't do it. Worst
Such a naughty
villain
boy.
ever, I would say.
Not without getting a good landscaper for sure.
And it was going
It depends.
so well.
Do we choose, or like nationally, Pal Pot? Obviously, he's got a shout out. Who's not gone yet? Andy,
Hitler?
do you need to go?
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant who's not gone in terms of villains.
Who's not massacred yet?
Oh, can I share some pictures for mine? They're not
Yes.
nude. It's fine. That's for after dark.
Yes.
There you go. Right. So I'm sorry. The Fred West thing's really. I'm gonna go Overlord, and specifically IDW Overlord, because, and if you've read the stories, you kind of should know why. He was just an incredibly powerful, sadistic killer, and somebody who loved and enjoyed it. And that's kind of part of what I think just made him so terrible. And there was a purpose to it, of course. You know, spoilers if you haven't read all of this, then firstly, you're an idiot. You should read it. It's great. But if you haven't read it, you know, it was all part of his attempts to get Megatron's attention, because he could never beat him in the pits when they were fighting. And he always had this bit of a complex about it. But, oh, man, he was just...
That scene.
There's so much in you know, the IDW comics that just really emphasized what a sadistic piece of shit he was. It's just fantastic, and it was the way he gloried in it as well, without having to have a rubber ducky or any other gimmicks or anything. He was just evil as hell, and that's part of the reason why I love him. I mean, he looked badass. Obviously, Overlord is one of those toys that kind of has gone into myth a little bit because it wasn't widely available. Was it if RJ's in the chat? I'm not sure, but Nick Roach, I think it was, who designed him. And then, of course, the pipes incident. Sorry for those of you who feel it's too soon. Spoiler alert again. But you know, that was just an incredible. I still remember reading it in the comic, and I didn't know it was coming up, and just reading that bit, and it was like so harsh, but just so awesome in some ways. Taking on the Wreckers, and you know, being able to have. Impactors, whatever you call it, spear thing launched into his eye and just smile and say, come here and say that. He was just an incredible character. And of course, he kicked Hot Rod's ass, called him a lightweight, obviously, sorry, Rodimus as he was at this point. But, he just is a fantastic character. If it ever became available at the right time, I'd love to pick up the MMC version, the Carnifex, because I just think it catches it so much. And I can still remember seeing RJ when he got his Carnifex and seeing how incredibly happy he was. And I can understand why.
It's up for pre-order.
Is it coming back? Are they re-releasing?
Yeah, they're releasing.
Oh, my giddy aunt.
I actually think it's next month for Christmas.
Wow.
It only cost you a small child.
I thought you offline.
Well, I've got 4. I can sacrifice one. But it's just everything about it, the way it was written, and I'm not gonna deny that. The fact of the matter is, the way it was written helped to create this incredibly evil character, but one that was also very entertaining and has become quite iconic within the fandom because of it. But you could argue that with you can argue that with Megatron and everything else. All of these characters were written to try and appeal to us, and this Overlord really did. And there's so many we could have gone with for great villains. I mean, everybody knows I'm a big fan of Tarn and the DJD and everything, but it was the fact that Overlord was just so badass as well. That scene in Last Stand of the Wreckers when he blasts his way in, he's just ready, like fight, and it was fantastic. And then I still remember this panel, which I managed to find before the show, when he's basically fighting the entire crew of the Lost Light, or at least the ones who are still alive at this point, at the same time. And it's just
the old day.
Some of them, I won't name any names for spoilers. Look, he's kicking Rodimus's ass again. It's just, it's just fantastic. I just think he's a fantastically written, well thought out, well developed character that plays such a brilliant role. And I was slightly gutted, obviously, because there is something of an end game to what happens to him in the IDW comics. If you haven't read it, I won't spoil it completely, but there is something eventually that comes round. But it's like you just cannot destroy this guy. You cannot stop him. Even when he gets badly injured in The Last Stand of the Wreckers, he's still going. He's not. He's like the Terminator of Transformers. You just will not stop. But with a personality and funny. The only downside to Overlord, Hoffer and his fists. The only downside to him was when they did him in Power of the Primes and they gave him that ridiculous Southern accent that just didn't work.
I quite liked it.
Oh, I couldn't stand it. You're so wrong. Anyway.
And you think the Carnifex is better than the Fans Hobby one?
No, you see,
Evil, is it?
For me, they're two
Evil
different things.
Good.
Carnifex is IDW Overlord. The Fans Hobby one is like the
G1
up to this point ultimate G1 toy version of him. It's not, they're not the same thing in a way. It's like comparing like Cadmus, that Star Saber, which is completely IDW based and a complete IDW version, to the HasLab one. They're very different figures, even though it's the same character in name. So I think there's a place for both of them. I suppose if you can get these kind of things. I think Carnifex, every time I've seen it, I've thought that looks like a flipping good figure. But like you say, the Fans Hobby one really carries that G1 style of Overlord. But yeah, my choice would be Overlord. There's loads of other ones I could have chosen. I mean, I say he's my choice. He's the one that I thought of, in the 10 minutes before the show started. And I thought, oh shit, need to have something to do this. But I can't think of anyone. Megatron would be the obvious boring one. Double Dealer, but then Double Dealer's not been in enough of the fiction. And, what else is there? Who else is there?
Straxus.
Hot Rod, because he killed Prime.
Straxus, I think, is really good because
Straxus was crap. He kept dying.
Oh, no,
he got his ass kicked by Blaster.
I like the part about Straxus. What I like is obviously when he came back and he took Megatron's clone body.
But he didn't really, did he? Because he failed, and then he tried to take it, and he failed again. You're choosing the most ineffective Decepticon of all time.
I thought he didn't realize. I thought at the end of that you didn't realize if it was a clone or I didn't realize you. I thought you didn't know who came out of that Megatron.
Just wait 1 second, Alexis. Spoiler alert for the 1980s G1 Marvel comic book. Straxus failed. He tried to take over, didn't he? And then the Megatron clone, as it turned out, because that was the way they cleverly wrote it. He was a clone. Just blew his own head off. And that ended it. Basically.
Which was a pity because that Megatron, he came to the realization he was on a route to be crazy, didn't he?
Yeah.
He didn't like his future.
Oh, but that was so well written. All those.
Yeah.
I was trying to explain this to my kids about how well written the G1 Marvel comic really was. That
It's like the end of
genius.
Like the end of Shutter Island. Oh, spoiler alert! If anyone wants to see Shutter Island, spoiler alert. It's DiCaprio, right? So he basically ends up.
That's an awful film.
Funny part. Really good film. Really good. It's
one of the worst films I've ever seen.
It's so good.
Patreon.com. We never ask for money, but if you head to TFN,
TFN, you've got it working again.
It's like so they go through this whole elaborate thing with DiCaprio. And what actually happens is, spoiler if you haven't heard, turn that off now. His wife kills the 3 children. He then shoots his wife and gets.
I was going to watch that tonight. You didn't give me a chance.
You
ruined it for me now.
He's a U.S. Marshal. And
what
goes
happens in
into...
Sixth Sense?
Oh, hang on a second. And at the end, his line to Mark Ruffalo is when he says he.
Don't you think the joke is over? No.
Does
Optimus Prime survive Transformers movie?
Alexis, give it up. It's okay now.
It's just very compelling at the end. He says, "Would you rather live as a monster or die as a man?" Because he's going to be lobotomized, and he makes a choice to say, "I'm still a bit psycho." When he's not, he knows what's happened. Just so he.
For those of you still with us, thank you.
Paul, why have you not muted them?
I'm having some difficulty with this. I think it seems pretty self-explanatory. But if Paul's watching this, then I'm doing this totally hard panther. Obviously, totally hard panther.
Yeah. So, but
why did I say? Maybe I had it. That was right. That was the correct. So let's go down.
Oh, it starts to go sideways from there.
Really so.
Thank you. Thanks for the show tonight, guys.
All of this banter at TFN Asian. Come and join us.
So you'll be drunk.
More drunk. We will be so drunk if we can get drinks from the bar. Anyway. Oh wait, there's people actually talking about Shutter Island. Oh my god, we've started something. He was a ghost all along, Ed. What are you talking about?
It's a Postman Pat version.
What was yours, Paul? You haven't done yours.
Yeah, I've done it. Pal Pot.
Good West.
So,
Paul has literally lost the will to live.
Any more sections that I have to do? Can we go?
No, it's done. It's done.
Cool, brilliant. Well, listen, thank you so much. Please, if there's one thing you do, head to Facebook and go to Transformers the Show and join our group. And see you next week, mate.